Hello, Steve. Hello, Joe. It's time to game classy.
He's here.
Hello. The video call is being recorded.
Yeah, it is. Otherwise, what's the point?
That's true. Buy my book. Buy my book.
Exactly.
Hello.
Hello. How's everything feeling today? You good?
We're all right. We're hanging in there.
We're the royal we.
Yes, the royal we.
Oh man. And so it's so close to the spooky season too.
That's right.
Yeah, now is the time of year when we get to bundle up under blankets with a big bucket of popcorn, watch a spooky movie.
That's true. 5 spooky movies. I believe.
That's what I commanded you to tell people, like your 5 movies that they should watch this Halloween season.
Yes. And I selected 5 in no particular order.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. We'll that could be our end cap to the podcast. Here's the 5 movies that you need to watch this Halloween.
Yes, I dig it.
You know what I'm doing? I'm doing mine completely on the fly.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm not that type of person. I have to have everything organized.
Well, see, that could have been taken in 2 ways. It could have been taken as you were doing a huge dissertation on just the film The Fly.
Oh, yes. It's only on Brundlefly.
Yeah, it was only on Brundlefly.
I tell you, the older I get, the more I just don't like Cronenberg movies.
I love Cronenberg movies.
I know. I can't handle it. I just watch them and I'm just like, I can't watch this movie anymore.
I still love the gross shit. Still a fan.
Well, I mean, I generally like body horror, but like, I don't know. Like The Substance is great body horror. It's not one of my picks because it's not streaming yet, and B, it's not really a good Halloween movie. But yeah, that's like my example of body horror. Like Cronenberg, The Fly, great body horror. Every other Cronenberg movie is just like the body horror is just too gross. If that's if I'm going there, I guess is what I would say. I don't know.
You just gotta shunt and it'll be fine.
I guess that's body horror. Yeah, I like that body horror. That's some great body horror.
Yes.
And plus I like comedy body horror more than I like serious creepy body horror. So I don't know. There's something about the human body that we all take it so seriously, and as like to the extreme, that makes it funny to me when someone's like body starts falling apart or rapidly mutating or something like that.
Yeah.
That I'm like, yes, that is truly what the human body is there for. But anywho, let's talk some gaming stuff. We haven't talked about gaming. Well, let's announce the podcast. Welcome to Game Class. Fuck, I can't speak. Welcome to Game Classy, the best worst gaming podcast out there. I am your host Joe, and with me as always is my co-host Steve.
Hello.
We're gonna talk some gaming stuff. We haven't talked about gaming stuff in a while, and I think one of the things I wanted to talk about in particular is holy shit, Warhammer Underworld is getting a huge push.
Yeah, go for it. I was surprised by this, and I want to hear it.
So of course they're doing a new edition to Underworlds, but this one looks like it's a complete revamp. I would say like this definitely looks like a new edition of the game. Not just, hey, here are some rules that are tacked onto the game. This looks to me like the first full redux edition of Warhammer Underworlds. I would call this version 2 or second edition.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting. They're getting rid of a lot of the way things are done. You're getting rid of boards, like a complete way of playing. You can't play longboard anymore. All of the cards are redone. It still looks like a lot of base mechanics, but now it's definitely different. They have like 4 core play styles is what they're talking about. Strike, take and hold, mastery, and flex.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I heard that there's the rumor mill says that they're gonna shutter Warcry and go all in on Underworlds.
Yeah, that's what I gently mentioned to you.
Mhm.
Gently mentioned was that that Warcry is right now going. The rumor is that Warcry is going to go away and they're going to focus all of their attention on Underworlds. However, I think Warcry is getting a new edition next year, so I think they're just on the downswing on that one.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would not be surprised if they do some nostalgia building with Warcry and kind of do a little bit of a Mordheim thing.
hmm
But I would that's a very very wishful rumor in my opinion.
The Grand Alliance boxes were a huge surprise.
Yeah, that's actually really cool if you ask me.
Yeah, very very cool.
Yeah, the repackaging old war bands, but they're putting them together in kind of like a like a yeah,
Like an army
alliance,
box.
yeah, an alliance army box. So you're gonna get like four.
You get 4 war bands in each one.
Yeah, and each of those 4 war bands are of the same. Like they're kind of somewhat related. Like
They're all
one,
chaos. They're all order. They're all death.
Yeah, the chaos one is fucking awesome. If you're like a chaos player, I know that they put Kagra's Ravagers in there, but it would have been cooler if they did like a Nurgle one, so you could have had one from each of the 4 gods. But,
True.
You know, it's still pretty neat. The death one, you're going to get Crimson Court, which I know is something that people have been kind of looking for a while. They love that warband.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Grimwatch, because I think Grimwatch has been on people's radar for a while as well. And then you get the destruction one where you see how weird the orcs look next to the old orcs.
It's true.
It's such a weird way of doing things, but anyway.
I mean, I like it though. I think because the idea is to make them a more distinct sub faction. So that's why they got rid of Savage Orcs, because Savage Orcs and Orcs look very very similar. So I think it does actually. I think it works to make them look so different, because they are like a distinct sub faction now, and I think that's the big goal for Age of Sigmar. Which why else would you get rid of Savage Orcs? And it's like, oh yeah, to make the sub orc faction actually its own thing.
Yeah, and at least they have. I think using the old world, they can now flip models back to that range and not actually like lose money with quotation marks on it.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're not. Oh, we're gonna get rid of this entire faction. Oh, well, how are we going to make money on these sprues? Well, we're just going to put them for another game.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, there's the Plague Bearer warband now, which looks awesome.
Yeah, they have two new warbands that are on the horizon. The Plague Bearer warband and the, what was the other one? What's that?
Lizardmen.
Yeah. A lot of Lizardmen players are incredibly happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
Lizardmen players are weird. I always look at Lizardmen and I go, who the fuck are playing Lizardmen? But there are people who love their goddamn dinosaur models.
It's absolutely true. They come out. When Lizardmen are good, you'll see them. They'll appear. They come out of hibernation.
It's granted, it's a personal bias because I look at the Lizardmen models and I go, I guess they're kind of cool, but I'm not going to sit there and paint a bunch of dinosaurs. I don't. But man, people love dinosaurs.
I mean, I also like dinosaurs, so I would.
I guess, yeah. I always Did you see that there was like a dinosaur mount for World of Warcraft that they're selling for $100 on the Warcraft funny. Shop? It's a digital mount in the game. They're selling for $100, and people are buying it, Steve.
Well, they gotta show off. It's just like online Chivos. It's not that you did it. It's showing others that you did.
It really is.
It's literally there to show off. That's the whole point.
Yeah. Well, Conquest has that cool Brontosaurus monster model.
Yeah. No, that's true.
And I've always wondered why they never did anything like that for the fantasy Lizardmen, but I mean they've done big figs. They did there's the Forge World ones. They never did a Forge World Brontosaurus though, did they?
No, they did. They did like a weird, like it was a gigantic like lizard kind of. I think it was like a really stretched out and fattened T-Rex, I guess.
Maybe, yeah.
It was huge. That was the biggest dinosaur they did. It was a Forge World one.
I like how we're calling them dinosaurs.
I mean, that's what they are. They're fucking dinosaurs. Like I mean, come on. It's not a lizard man, it's a dinosaur. Like there are lizard men, but there are also dinosaurs.
Yeah, here it is. Oh, what is this? No, that's just that's the Dreadsaurian.
Dreadsaurian. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, I got a Dreadsaurian word
Yeah,
here.
so it's a because it's quadrupedal, so it's not exactly a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very cool, and it's just a fucking gigantic ass fucking dinosaur. It's cool.
Yeah, because remember, I think it was that campaign that they tried to do after Storm of Chaos. It was like Conquest of the New World.
Lustria. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Lustria one. It's Conquest of the New World. Steve, I believe, was the actual title.
I don't know about that one.
But they did. That's when they initially did the one with the portal on his back. It was like they had everyone making their own. Like you were supposed to scratch build it. I remember everyone was doing some crazy ass shit with dinosaur models at that time, and everything looked cool. It was a really neat way of doing things. But now you can't scratch build anything in Warhammer. It's not allowed. So
it's true.
Except in the old world. The old world is the one where they're kind of like, yeah, you could scratch build that.
Yeah, just build it.
Yeah. Who cares?
I actually I got the second half of the Tomb King stuff coming.
Oh yeah? I was gonna say, yeah, I played some Old World last week and had a ball playing it.
Yeah, you said cavalry is quite strong.
It's brutal, man. Cav is brutal. And I'm like, the more I'm reading up on it, and I'm the type of person who says don't read those meta players who are like, this is the best way that you have to play the game. Like, if you don't play the game this way, why are you even bother playing? Those people are assholes. But they're all saying like, you have to take all cavalry armies and take a hero on a dragon. Like, that's how you win. I'm like, yeah, but that's boring. Like, I don't want to sit there and play guy on a dragon unless it's really thematically important that you have a guy on a dragon.
I mean, I like the guy on the dragon for the Tomb Kings because that model is dope.
Yeah, exactly. It's but if you got to build, I don't know, building an army around more of a meta than a theme is no.
Like I said, I'm 100% just doing the like. I'm getting all of the models that I think are cool. I'm going to make a coherent looking army, and that's it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like it's simple as that. Like I don't care if like, oh, I don't have like, I'm going to have 2 units of chariots because I get a unit of Tomb Guard chariots and then a unit of regular chariots. That's it. Like those are my chariot units. Like cool. Like I don't care if like taking, way more than that is better. Maybe I'll do like one other unit of chariots because if I have like a Cetra, because I do want to have Cetra, so him being flanked by 2 chariot goon units kind of looks cool. So I might do it like that. But that's it. I don't care.
I'll only play you though if you call him Mumra.
Mumra. No, that's my Tomb King. That's my custom Tomb King.
Yeah, your custom Tomb King has to be Mumra, the Ever Living. You can't call him
Ever Living.
Yes. Mumra. Yeah. Man, they didn't have to go like. You're creating a theme for a 1980s cartoon called Thundercats. You don't have to go that hard. The guy who creates the theme to Thundercats creates the hardest theme of all time.
It's true.
Oh, man.
Thundercats are on the loose. Thundercats are loose.
Thundercats are on the loose. Thundercats are loose.
Guitar sting. And you got Chitara where they do the real low angle shot while she's running.
Yeah, it was a whole something, and they didn't cheap out on the animation on that show either. That was some good animation.
No, it was good stuff.
So yes, but the game itself, the old world itself, is quite fun. Man, it's good to go back. The hardest thing is just remembering all of the rules and the bonuses, like all of the special rules.
I was gonna say I thought the hardest thing would be not mixing up your additions of rules in your head when you're trying to remember what stuff does.
I mean, there's a little bit of that. The fallback in good order when fighting is definitely the thing that I think most people it's hardest for us to grasp as older players.
Oh, where things just don't run away and then get run down and die.
Yeah, so if you lose the combat and you lose your leadership, but it's technically under the leadership of like, well, whatever it's harder to explain, but when you lose leadership but it's under your normal leadership. So let's say you have to roll a 6, but your normal leadership is an 8, and if you roll a 4, you would be, or you rolled a 7, you would still fall back in good order. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's really fun to play that way. It's just kind of difficult to always explain. No, it's a special rule.
Fall back in good order is, for anyone listening, is so in old Warhammer, when you lost leadership, you just turned and ran, and your unit could just have a chance of dying immediately. Fall back in good order means that you are running, but you're not turning and running, so you just slide your unit back so you can basically keep fighting.
Yep. But it's a special rules. Like I was running a unit of spearmen, right? Dark elf spearmen. And I gave them the Razor Banner, which basically gives you -2 to your opponent's armor save if you roll a 6 to wound.
Okay.
And I kept forgetting that fucking rule.
Oh yeah, no, that's a huge. You can't forget that. That's huge.
Yeah, it's huge. It's super important. And there's other things like,
it's not quite killing blow, but it's almost killing blow.
Yeah. Especially, yeah, and there's other things too with leadership and other stuff that if you just don't remember it, you're going to lose the game. Like it's those type of rules that are so crucial to what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been practicing dice rolls for combat using a dice roll simulator at work. Like I'll just create a scenario in my head and write it down on a piece of paper and say, how would I roll off on this? Just so I can remember how to do the rule. I'm old and my brain forgets.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But in the meantime, the Warhammer Underworld, the new box set Emberguard, the Skaven look fantastic in the box. The Stormcast are Stormcast. I'm not like, yeah, I'm not super excited about the Stormcast.
They look cool. If you like Stormcast, you'll like them. If you already don't like Stormcast, you're not going to change your mind.
Yeah. I mean, but the Skaven are friggin' fantastic in the game.
Yeah,
they're fantastic looking models. I don't know how well they'll play.
Who knows? They look awesome though.
Yeah, I haven't played Underworlds in a long ass time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't plan on playing it again. The last chance for Underworlds for me was the Steam version, and that version is definitely gone the way of the dodo. The only thing left is like when they eventually close the servers, which they will.
Yeah,
they just haven't done it yet.
Other news, they got the new plastic Phoenix Lord. You get a new Phoenix Lord, Steve?
I do really like that Phoenix Lord simply because it very much looks like a second edition model. I like that. It does.
The pose is very second edition.
And the banner straight up looks like a sculpted version of the old sticker.
Yes. I was one of the interesting things, and I think I've talked about that on the cast before, is with the old world models coming back and people in 2024 discovering old and middle hammer style modeling. And where they're like, they're so easy to paint. Is this all there is to it? And then you see a model like this where it's definitely an update on the old middle hammer model, but you could definitely see all of the doodads and all the fun stuff that you got to paint now on it. Mm-hmm. You could definitely understand why some people are going back and going like, oh, I like the older style model better.
The whiz bangs and the gigas.
Yeah. I mean, it's an Eldar model, so it's always like kind of fiddly. They always had like
and there's always gonna be the gems
and all.
But
that.
Honestly, that gem paint really does work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't remember if I've ever used the gem paint.
So the gem paint
is truly outrageous.
Oh well, yes, it's truly outrageous. No, so the way the gem paint works is you paint it over a metallic, and the gem paint is like kind of a viscous. I'd say like it really feels like a colored ard coat.
Oh, okay.
So what you do is you paint it and you slide your brush along, and you basically like where the model or where the gem naturally goes higher, the gem paint will kind of like not stay. It's almost like a wash. And it's just the fact, like, does it look as good as like one of those hand painted gems with all the shadows and effects? No, fuck no, of course it doesn't. But does it look amazing as a gem for your entire army across the board with very little effort? Yes, it does. So you should do it.
You should do it. Do it, you idiot.
Yeah.
You stupid head. Did you also see that they are releasing the Stormcast as the Warhammer Heroes?
I did not see that. No,
the new blind box. Yeah, the new blind box buys for what is it? Series 5 is going to be Stormcast. Mm-hmm. So this is the first time I think that they're doing Age of Sigmar models for it.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
The models actually look really cool. I don't know if these models are from somewhere. Aren't they usual, or are they like, or they are unique sculpts? But all Stormcast tend to look the same to me.
Yeah, they'll be unique sculpts for this, and then they'll pop up somewhere else.
Yeah,
Because I saw the new Nurgle Kill Team release is the former Japanese exclusive Plague Marine blind box guys.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. I'm thinking of picking it up. Yeah, like I'll probably never use them for Kill Team, but there's that there's a game I'm thinking of getting into is Stargrave.
Oh, okay, yeah, Stargrave, yeah.
Because I was like, how can I play Kill Team without actually having to play Kill Team? And it seems like Stargrave is the way to go. So I might use him for Stargrave.
Yeah, I actually played some Stargrave not too long ago. It's good. It's a little bit more complex version of Frostgrave.
Mm-hmm.
I dig it. When I was doing it, I was like, I'm gonna do only Rogue Trader models for Stargrave. So all of my Stargrave guys are just, old Rogue Trader models designed up, because I'm like, that's the only time I'm ever gonna get to play with these Rogue Trader models, so I might as well just do them for something fun.
Sure. Yeah, makes sense.
And now that the scanning leak has reached its premium, I can maybe do some of the other warbands. But no, I wouldn't, because that would be stealing, and stealing is wrong, Steve.
That's right. We would never endorse the cool crime of thievery.
I don't know if it's I can't decide what this crime is. Like what scanning a model and then creating a 3D model of it and sending it out to people, like what would that be classified under on the classic crimes list?
If we're talking a classic crime, I believe that would be the textbook definition of counterfeiting.
Counterfeiting, though? I
counterfeiting. Counterfeit goods. Not counterfeit currency, but counterfeit goods. Like you can't counterfeit like you can't counterfeit a Prada bag and say, I'm selling these Prada bags for $100.
Yes, if you sell them, that's counterfeiting. But if you're just using it for your own home use.
Yes, see, that's the thing. For home use, it kind of like falls into I believe it falls into the category of just, home use in general.
I mean, but I don't know. It's weird to me. Or even the scanning process and putting it out there for free.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is that counterfeiting?
Yeah, that I don't know. It's probably the end result is probably at one step along the line. There is probably something that is specifically illegal. It's just like how it's like how cannibalism isn't illegal in America.
Cannibalism.
Like I don't know. Like a lot of people don't know that there is literally not a single cannibalism law on the books anywhere. In the United States is not.
But they get you for other things. They get you for improper
exactly
of a corpse.
There's 8 bajillion other things that they would arrest you for that are illegal, so they don't actually need to make the cannibalism itself. It doesn't need to be illegal, because to perform said cannibalism, you have to violate so many laws.
Yeah.
So it's probably working along the lines of that. So there's probably like, yes, all of these things are super legal. All of this stuff is legal, but this one thing that this person did one step along the line is the illegal part.
It's like Arvin Maivis in Germany, the guy who
makes it all fall apart.
What's that?
I said there's one thing that makes it all fall apart.
Well, yeah, but that guy in Germany who invited the guy over, and the other guy was like, "I want you to eat me."
Oh yeah,
and, yeah. It was completely consensual cannibalism, and all the German government was like, "What do we do?
Yeah,
how do we take care of this?"
Yeah, you can't consent to a crime. It's pretty. It's like a base. That's like a super basic law. Like if I say you can kill me and I give you authorization and you kill me, you're still guilty of murder because I cannot consent to a crime because it's illegal.
Yeah, it's definitely a interesting conundrum, a legal conundrum, and I'm living in the gray zone, man, right now.
Not
I'm
me. I'm
living on the edge.
I'm just playing guitar on my MTV.
I'm just watching from afar, realizing that this is a crazy, crazy world that we live in.
It's true.
So back to the fun releases for that. Yes, so they are releasing the Stormcast. I don't know if they're new sculpts. I think that they're kind of fun looking, and I think they'd be great for a game like Warcry.
Mm-hmm.
But I really can't do Age of Sigmar right now. So But the scopes are great. I really appreciate those.
Yeah, I'm just good. I'm all in on Old World at this point.
Yeah,
It's kinda
exactly.
Like I don't need to play 2 army games.
Well, I like Old World for my fantasy, and I like for 30K for my sci-fi. That's the way it goes.
Yeah, I'd rather just play more skirmish games than have like 2 army games.
Yeah, Stargrave is a good example of that.
Yeah,
You
and
want to
then
know
I've
what?
got
Yeah.
Bushido. My almost done with my Bushido warband.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the skirmish games are plentiful right now, and I definitely do not sleep on those skirmish games because they are out, they are well supported, and they are fun. The thing that to keep in mind is they are in no way as complicated as any other as like 40K or fantasy.
True.
So don't be taken aback by their simplicity.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and they'll be more complicated as you play and realize like, oh, actually, wait, this is more complex than I thought.
Yeah, the problem is that a lot of the times the questions that come up have no easy solution in the rule book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you're like, well, what happens if this situation comes up? And you look in the rule book and there's like nothing. There's nothing there. You actually like you see something that says like FAQs, and you go to the back and it says FAQs, and it's just a guy shrugging his shoulders. That's all that's all that's back there. Is just a guy shrugging his shoulders.
Yes.
All right. Do we have any other games GW stuff that's coming out that I have failed to mention?
I think that was it.
Yeah, I do know that the next big thing for Old World is going to be either Empire or High Elves. But that's not till next year.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. And and on that rulebook thing, that's like the exact thing that I love about the new edition of Bolt Action is every time I've come up with a question where I've been playing the game and been like, what happens if this? It's actually in the rulebook and easily answered and easily found.
Hey, nice.
It's the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life was a rulebook where everything is where it should be and easy to find.
That is an incredible rulebook right there.
Exactly. Like I cannot state enough how much I've shocked by how well put together that rulebook is.
Mm.
I'm sure there'll be one or two things that I'll eventually come up against where I'll be like, I don't understand, but I did want to talk about Hasbro. Did you see this thing about Hasbro?
No, fire away. I might. Well, I said maybe. I see a lot of stuff about Hasbro, so hit me.
This actually news just dropped this week, 2 days ago, Thursday. The Q3 report shows a decline in D&D revenue despite the 2024 launch.
Yes, that's not surprising because once the new edition was announced, the current well, not new edition, whatever we want to call it. Once D&D 1 was announced, all the book sales slowed down because people were like, oh, well, there was the lull, like, well, maybe we shouldn't buy the new books because we don't know what's going to be needed or worth it when the new stuff drops. Yeah,
I mean, you would think though that the launch of the new book would have bumped it, but
so that's the thing, is it did, so it would have been far worse without the massive success of that last book.
But I also think that heading into this season, you're going to see a lot of people buying the new books and the Dungeon Master Guide when it comes out at Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good gift. And it's a good, people put that on their Christmas lists. They want the new D&D players guide or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
And you'll probably see a big bump in Q4 for that.
That seems likely, yeah.
Yeah. Those, I got to get those last few books, though, for D&D 5 so I can have the complete 5th edition.
The full collection?
Yeah. I think it's like I got to get everything past Bigby, the nice. Giant book. Yeah.
Nice.
The AI art book. Yeah, I was surprised by that one. That was the company. A lot of company news this week that's one of them. The other one is that what we learned about Privateer Press.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys had if we've never talked about this on the cast before, but we were I was online and I was on one of my forums and I saw someone talking about what happened with Mark 3 or was it Mark 3? No, it was Mark 2 of War Machine.
War Machine.
Yeah, and it was kind of shocking. Something that I heard about it was that
now this is an unconfirmed rumor though, right?
Yeah, this is completely unconfirmed. I'm trying to find it right now, so I'm not talking too much out. Here it is. Too much out of my ass. Mid to late Mark II crashed the game is what happened. War Machine had a huge number of models in production, and these models were 20 years old. And the molds need to be retooled, and the old figures were showing their age so that they could be resculpted. But the Chinese manufacturers started using the molds to make knockoff toys, at which point Privateer Press decided to stop production with that manufacturer. However, the manufacturer never gave back the molds and effectively stole them. And a huge percent of the models were either at the end of their production lifespan. So they basically had to retool and redo everything from scratch with a new company.
Right.
And plus then I guess what we talk about with Mark III really failing heavy and hard, kind of just killed the game.
Yeah.
Which might be a reason why a lot of specific
minis got discontinued.
And minis have just disappeared.
Yep.
Like from the market. Like do you ever hear anything about like the Scorn anymore?
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
And so that's very interesting to me. I don't know if there's any truth to that. I mean, I would take the idea that the Chinese would steal a mold design to make cheap knockoff toys. That sounds 100% like a total. Like I think that would happen.
Yeah, there doesn't sound anything surprising about that.
Like an old looking Chinese guy who's only 42, but he looks like he's 60, smoking a cigarette, just walking off with the molds, saying
he's just made of cigarettes.
Just made of cigarettes, walking around with it. You know, walking and basically, you know, lead all around him. Lead shavings all around him, wandering around this factory with these molds of fucking, you know, Kador models.
Granny full of lead versus me full of microplastics.
Yes.
The ultimate showdown.
Yeah, I'm full of microplastics.
Grandpa's full of lead. We're full
What's
of
my dad full of then? There's something that we're missing on this one.
Also lead. We got 2 generations of lead.
It's why Donald Trump is going to be our next president. I keep telling people this.
2 generations of lead.
Yeah. I mean, in my field, I have to talk a lot about things like traumatic brain injury and you know, issues that arise because of environmental factors. And I have an obsession with true crime. So I often say that one of the more underrated aspects of that is heavy metals poisoning on the brain. And not a lot of people talk about that. Like we would classify it as like an other health impairment if you have those issues. But it's one of those things that I think is a very, very heavy indicator of why our country is literally going insane, is because of the amount of heavy metals poisoning that is prevalent in our environment.
I believe it. I've seen some videos of Americans.
I mean, especially in Rust Belt states where we had heavy manufacturing that has gone by the wayside.
Yep.
I truly believe that the amount of heavy metals in our groundwater has just completely destroyed the brains of our parents and grandparents, and us to a certain extent.
Like that lady who looks like a Kuma.
Yes, the lady who looks like a puma.
She literally looks like a Kuma. Like they threw the Akuma sound bites over her, and I was like, oh yeah, it's
Akuma. I thought you said a puma.
No, Akuma from Street Fighter.
Yes, I get the Akuma from Street Fighter.
Yeah, she literally looks like Akuma from Street Fighter, and they put the Akuma sound bites over her, and it's really fucking weird.
I don't know what the Akuma sound bites would be, but
like it's just like his dialogue.
Oh, yeah.
It's the character's voice talking, and it's really weird seeing her face because like it becomes uncanny at that point.
Every time I'm thinking, I don't know why, but when I'm thinking sound bites, I just think of the Mega Man. Dun, 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 dun.
I mean, that's a good sound bite. That's a good sound bite to think about.
I don't know why, but that's in my head. I was just talking about I was talking about getting a Steam Deck with Pat B.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and because he was like, I don't know which one to get, and I'm like, should I get the terabyte or the half terabyte? But he was like, we were talking about it but the problem is that I want to buy this $750 mobile gaming device so I can play Solval on my couch.
Let's go.
Like a game that like takes up 5 megabytes of memory.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and actually, I kind of want it for Tabletop Simulator more than anything, but. Well, we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to get it or not. I can't dedicate that much time to playing video games. It's just, I feel like it's such a waste for me. And I have so many minis to paint. I can't take that, but I really want to play Space Marine 2. So it's hard. It's very hard, Steve.
It's true.
And also,
there's too many things to do.
And I'm also way too old to be looking at a screen that small and playing games on it.
It's true. Small screens are a lot more difficult to adapt to nowadays.
Especially for a guy like an old fuck like me who's just, I can't see shit anymore. And I've always had bad eyes, and now it's even worse. I feel
the true old man experience.
I mean, that really is like when your eyes start going, man, it's the worst. And my eyes have always been going, so it's been harder for me. It's actually been interesting to see a lot of my friends who've never had to wear glasses going through it.
Starting to get glasses, yeah.
Or like not understanding that they need glasses.
Oh, right. And they're just like, things are just looking fuzzy. And it's like, you're supposed to not, like, things are not supposed to look fuzzy.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be that way. Get your shit in gear.
Yeah,
take care of your body.
Go to the eye doctor.
Or else you're gonna be like my dad, who gets like knee surgery and doesn't tell me until the day before knee surgery. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go in for my knee surgery. I'm gonna get my knee replaced. I'm like, what?
gotta get a new knee, yo.
Yeah, it's like, okay, thanks for that. Thanks for letting me know.
Yes.
Each Christ. Oh, but anyway, all right. So, do we have any other gaming news we wanted to talk about before we talk about scary movies and the spooky season?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't really think that there's too much in terms of new shit. Those were like the things that I learned about that I was like relatively interested in. Nice. The Privateer Press one is, to me, it's just depressing. That entire story.
Yeah.
Aside from the.
Oh, and I guess we should mention that Mythic Games closed.
Oh, did it?
Yeah,
I didn't hear anything about this.
Yeah, they filed for bankruptcy with the government of wherever, France.
Is it France or Canada?
I think it's France. I think they're a French company. But yeah, their bankruptcy filing was notified. So
what did they have anything that was currently in production?
I don't believe I believe they delivered 0 of the Kickstarter before Darkest Dungeon. Okay. And then I believe they delivered partial of Darkest Dungeon.
Because they did that Joan of Arc game. I remember that.
That one I think was fine.
Yeah, that one was a while ago. That was a couple years ago.
I think that one was fine. The other stuff is where the issues have arisen.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
And now they're gone. They're bankrupt, so it's over.
Yeah, it's over.
It's never been more Jover.
Oh, yeah, that's sad. But we're going to see a contraction. We're actually seeing a big economic contraction right now in many, many markets. So board game stores, board game manufacturers closing is not unique. I would say. What was it? There's something like 10% of all microbreweries in the state of Illinois have closed in the last like 2 years. So 1 in 10, maybe even more at this point. Yeah, all of the smaller stuff that had creeped up during the economic boom are now kind of going away.
Yeah, the people who never got out of the like borders, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's now only the strong will survive.
Essentially, or people, just basically who establish themselves.
Yeah. It's that's why it's like podcasts. It's like only the good ones survived. Ones like us should have been killed off many, many years ago.
It's true.
Yeah. Lucky for them, we have nothing better to do.
Yeah, and we don't have any sponsors.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, that we don't have to talk about Quip or BetterHelp.
Bombas socks.
Bomba socks.
You guys like socks? You know, we're gonna show you Bombas socks. You know those socks that you could buy on Amazon for like $1.99 for 12 pairs, and it lasts like a good 2 years. Yeah, don't buy those. Buy Bombas socks. They're so comfy.
Manscape.
Manscaped. You like shaving your pubes?
You like shaving your balls.
You ever shave your balls? Get manscaping. It's not like you can't buy a fucking pair of clippers at the Walgreens for $15. Oh
Yes.
God. It's like, and they're all like, what was I was like watching streaming where they have commercials on nowadays. They always give me fucking commercials for shit I have no need for. And I'm like, haven't we solved this issue in 2024 of like targeted commercials? Why do they keep sending me commercials about people with irritable bowel syndrome?
So I haven't seen a commercial in forever, but I do miss the black and white stupid thing happening infomercial starters.
Yeah.
I miss that.
Well, I mean, there's this one for like, I don't know if it's like irritable bowel syndrome or some other poop disease, where the guy is like, when you have stomach issues, and the guy opens up his car door, and instead of like a car seat, there's a toilet in there. And the only thing I'm thinking of during this commercial is, man, I would love to have a toilet in my car. Just shit on the road as I'm driving. I'd purposely shit just so the person behind me would have to drive over my shit.
Nice.
That's what I'm thinking. Fuck those people. But it's like, you know, like show me a commercial for give me like a movie trailer, or show me a cookie commercial, a commercial for a new cookie I would be interested in. That's what I want. I don't need these medication commercials. I don't care about medication. Unless the medication is going to make me just forget about this awful dystopia we live in. But yes, the I don't know how I got in the commercial. Oh yeah, Bombas socks.
Bomba socks.
Yeah.
And manscaping.
Yeah. Like what we should do is like they should give us a commercial, like if it's for like a sponsor for us, they should give us like a commercial for, you know, it's like I don't even know. Ozempic would probably be the only commercial that would be appropriate for our listening audience.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm gonna go on Ozempic someday. I'm just gonna easily lose that weight.
Let's do it. Might as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna be that guy. Just like fuck everything else. Fuck all this exercise. I'm gonna take the drug that makes me lose weight.
You still should also exercise, even taking the drug that makes you lose weight.
Or, after just watching The Substance, there's nothing that could go wrong with this. Anyway, so it is the spooky season. This will go up. Halloween will be on the Thursday after we release this episode. So I said to Steve, I said, hey, let's find 5 movies that are currently streaming, and let's give our recommendations for these are your must-watch streaming movies of the Halloween season this year. Yeah,
and I had no particular order. I did follow all the instructions of that, and I even have where you can stream these.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah. So the first one is going to be Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Oh, really? Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Yes,
okay.
That's my first one. I think it's a real solid horror comedy movie. I'm a fan. I think it's a great party movie. Like if you got a bunch of people over and you're having drinks or whatever, Halloween party movie. I think it's real good. That is streaming on Max.
I will say that is an interesting poll. I watched it. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I can see why people would like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is it wasn't really released as a horror comedy.
Yes.
I think if I had gone in knowing it was a horror comedy, I probably would have liked it a lot more.
I could see that.
Yeah, I that was, I think, one of the issues with it. And you know, I also have a love-hate relationship with Pete, what's his face?
Pete Davidson?
Pete Davidson.
Yeah, he does suck.
But I think he was used kind of perfectly in the movie, so I think it worked.
Yes, concur.
All right, what's your second pick?
All right, next pick is actually gonna be Creep.
Creep. The one with the Mumblecore movie?
Yeah, the Mumblecore movie. Creep.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
On Netflix.
I did not think that would be a very Steve movie, but go for it.
I am a fan. I think Creep is a movie that you should watch by yourself with headphones on your computer close to the screen.
Close to the screen.
Yes, that is how you should watch Creep. That's my two. I think it's a very good. I think Creep is an excellent aperitif before you start any sort of like serious horror film watch-alongs or marathons. I would pregame with Creep on Netflix.
All right. I'll go for you. All right. And what's your next one? I'm having you go because I want to see if there's any overlap with mine. Very good.
3, Malignant. Malignant is on Max. I think everyone should watch Malignant. It is one of the stupidest horror movies I've ever seen, and it is incredible. Yeah, it just absolutely incredible. I can't recommend it more. You definitely should do yourself a favor and watch Malignant. It's so fucking stupid and it's so fucking good. Really, it's it's just do it, make it happen.
Yeah, you know what? I'm with you. I don't think I would have recommended it until you mentioned it, but everybody should watch Malignant at least once in their life. Especially like if you're a fan of giallo movies, I would watch it because it is essentially just a giallo movie. But also, if you have no idea what a giallo movie is, you should watch it because it's just fucking batshit stupid.
Yeah, it is incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
I
think the word that best describes that movie is batshit, and it's one of those movies that I watch it and I go, holy shit! If there was just one studio executive who stepped in and said, please fix this, the movie would be like an actual legit horror movie, but nowhere near as good.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. What's number 4 for you?
Okay. So number 4 is a newer one. Talk to Me.
Okay, Talk to Me. This is one I have not seen yet.
That's on Paramount Plus. Talk to Me is not an incredible movie by any means, but I do still recommend it. I think it is a solid new horror film. They're from Australia. This is their first movie. I look forward to seeing what they do in the future. And it's got some decent jumpy bits. A couple anyway.
I like that you picked 2 Zoomer horror flicks.
Yes. Well, I mean, I'm trying to, be contemporary. And obviously, I think this list would be a little silly if I just made it all classics that everyone should have already seen multiple times by now.
Yeah, no, you're correct in that. I think that's very true. I mean, a lot of my stuff on my list is probably stuff that people have seen before. Yep. So,
and then my final one, which is on Amazon Prime, X, the film X from 2022. I recommend it.
Why do I know that? What is X?
It's the one that had the prequel Pearl. Pearl is the prequel to X.
Oh, god damn it. I'm thinking that was called Triple X. That's my bad.
No, Triple X is the Vin Diesel film.
It's true. And also Maxine, which is the sequel to Pearl and X.
Yes.
Maxine has the 3 X's. Yeah, that's actually really interesting because Pearl is on my list.
Excellent. Nice.
Yes. X is a really interesting movie. I know Ty West is very controversial. It is not he is not someone that a lot of people really like. He's a very love him or hate him director. But X is a very good movie of his. And Pearl is on my list, and but I think that's because Pearl is a superior fall autumn movie than X. But X is a great movie as well.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so I went with a couple new ones and a couple old ones. So I'm glad that you went X and not Pearl. X is a little raunchy though.
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely raunchy.
It's especially weird that Jenna Ortega is in that movie as a father, and my daughter really likes Jenna Ortega and stuff, and I'm watching that movie and I'm like, I don't know if I can watch this. This might be too much for me.
I like it.
Yeah, especially because I watched X after I would watched Wednesday with my daughter. So I was like, this feels weird. I don't feel weird because Mia Goth is she's just a weirdo.
True.
But did you see Maxine yet?
I have not seen Maxine yet. No.
I didn't like it as much.
No.
It's. I think after watching Pearl, I'm like, oh, this movie's not as good. But Maxine's got like a lot of big names in it, surprisingly.
Huh.
Yeah, that's weird. All right. I know you had some solid picks there. Those are all good Halloween ones. I would say
that's my 5. My season's greetings.
And was it? It's Talk to Me, right?
Talk to Me. Yes.
Yeah. That's one that I want to watch. I have not. I've not gone through. I've not sat down and to watch it yet. But I would be. I'm interested in it. So I want to see where Zoomer movies go. Zoomer horror goes because I'll tell you.
I want a lot less fucking Skinamarink. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I have seen what millennials did with horror, and I'm done with it. We ruined horror. We just made it all about trauma, and we made horror mostly miserable. Like horror used to be fun. Now it's miserable, and I kind of hate it.
It can be both.
I mean, it can be, but it's so much on that. Look at the Babadook is the one who started it, and I hated Babadook.
I also did not like Babadook. And
everything since Babadook has been about like the horror of trauma, and it's like, okay, that's great for a couple movies, but man, we need something fresh. We need something new.
Mm-hmm.
We need a Scream to shake it all up.
Yeah.
Just like Wes Craven did in 1997 or whenever that came out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So my picks for streaming horror, I'm going to go with 2 relatively new ones right off the bat.
All right.
So my first pick, I won't do this in any particular order as well. The new VHS Beyond.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
The first sequence is so unbelievably good in VHS Beyond. Stork.
Yeah.
It's based off a series of artwork that was done online, kind of a memed viral artwork. It is just incredibly well done for like a first person kind of shooter style.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool to watch, really engaging. I put VHS on Beyond on while painting, and I didn't even paint during the entire sequence because I was so enraptured with it.
Mm-hmm.
The other sequence, there's definitely one stinker in the bit that I did not like, and the wraparound segments are not great, but I think the other segments in it are really fun, including Justin Long essentially doing a complete ripoff of Tusk.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he's in Tusk too.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny.
Weirder.
Yeah.
But it was a good sequence to watch because it's kind of just really stupid. There's no plot to it. There's no like ABC plot to it. It's just an A the entire way through.
It is.
So definitely keep that in. And the last sequence, which is about the girl in the spaceship, was, I thought, really cool. I know some people didn't like it because they thought it was confusing on what happened, but I really enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Next one on the list, another new one, Oddity. Oddity is essentially...
I really liked Oddity.
Yeah, it's the same guy that did that one with the rabbit. What's that? Caveat. Yeah. It's the same director. I just think Oddity is a great isolation horror movie. In the style of folk horror, British folk horror, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a throwback to that almost Hammer horror style where there's a big old haunted house and you have a guy with a murdered wife and like people coming in and visiting them. It's a very simple plot, and I think the plot kind of falls apart, but the atmosphere and dread in the movie are very good.
And the performances are excellent.
Yeah, I think the performances are pretty good. I definitely would agree with that. They all look like Harry Potter rejects.
Yes. Well, I mean, that's to be expected. It's a British film.
It is a British film. All right. Then I might as well just say my next pick was Pearl.
Nice.
I there's something about Pearl and its kind of Midwest sensibilities that really speak to me as being a Chicago, like being from the Midwest,
Mhm.
and like knowing a lot of farm country and older people. It kind of like, I don't know. There's something that's really
I've
Halloween
met
about
these weirdos.
I've met these weirdos. That's exactly it. Like I've met this type of weirdo before. So I really, and it's just well shot and well acted. I know people are like, Mia Goth deserved to get an Oscar nomination. No, she didn't. Mia Goth is not that good, but she does have some really good parts in there, which I highly recommend.
Mm.
And all, yeah, it's got a good Spooktober vibe to it. My next pick is a one that we've talked about before, Late Night with the Devil. And if you haven't fucking watched it yet, watch the movie. It is like the perfect Halloween movie.
Yeah, it's real good.
Only problem with it, and this is something that I just learned because I watched it with my daughter. We've been watching some Halloween movies, and I was like, let's watch Late Night with the Devil. I think you might like it.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to forget that my daughter has no concept of what anything was like pre-1990.
Yes.
Like pre-internet.
Right.
The stuff that happens pre-internet is so foreign to her.
It's confounding.
It really is. Like the fact that you would watch something on late night TV and not have any background information on any of it is so weird to her.
Mm-hmm.
Literally everything about it is a time capsule.
Yes.
For something that our generation would understand, because we had remnants of Carson, and we watched Conan and Letterman.
Yeah,
and
we're a bridge generation, so
yeah. So we have some of that background knowledge, and our parents would talk about things from the 70s. We would see clips of late night talk shows from the 70s. So we had an idea.
Really big shoe.
Hi-oh.
Yes, exactly.
But I still think it's really good. So if you're like over the age of 30, you need to watch Late Night with the Devil. It's just a really solid 90-minute movie.
Mm.
And it feels adequate in its build up and everything else.
Yes.
I really loved, when I was rewatching it, I loved the segment with the psychic who was doing the cold readings and then like freaks out. It's like it was done so well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really good.
And I do like David Desmalchin. He's a local guy. He's a Berwyn guy.
Berwyn.
Thank you. No one else ever does that when I do that anymore.
You gotta do it. It's the rules.
Yeah, exactly. And my last pick, and this is one that just came to me last weekend when I was like going through movies to rewatch for the holiday season. I'm going to say everyone should watch Evil Dead 2 this holiday season.
Oh, that's a good one. It's a good pick.
Yes. If you haven't, especially if you haven't watched it in a while, Evil Dead 2 to me, after I've been reading a lot of Lovecraft stuff and a lot of mythos stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like stuff that was written by non-Lovecraft people for the mythos. And rewatching Evil Dead 2 to me is Lovecraft meets the Three Stooges. Because it is literally, if, let's say, I don't know who was doing the Three Stooges, Paramount or whoever was doing Three Stooges back in the day. Universal was like, all right, so we got this young guy who's writing a script for us. It's H.P. Lovecraft. And if H.P. Lovecraft wrote a script for the Three Stooges, that is Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, I can see that.
That movie is so fantastic. There is absolutely zero plot in that movie. As Joe Bob Briggs would say, there's not a lot of plot to get in the way of that movie.
That's right.
Then it never stops. It just keeps ramping up and up and up, and it gets sillier and sillier and sillier the more you get through it. my daughter thought it was one of the funniest movies she's ever seen, especially the part where he stomps on the head and the eyeball flies out into the girl's mouth.
Yes, exactly.
She's like, how did this pass for special effects?
That's so good.
And I get it. Like, back in the day, the special effects were bad, but we didn't care because that was special effects.
Yeah.
And like, these kids, they're too spoiled on the special effects. You got to go back. You got to get back to your roots and watch these terrible special effects.
Yes.
Like, she was especially shocked by the scene of Ash flying into the portal where it's literally just him above a green screen.
Yeah, like super obvious green screen.
Yeah, super obvious green screen. And she said the effects looked like Beetlejuice effects, which I don't know whether to take that as a compliment or whether to take that as an insult. I can't tell with these children. So there you go. A couple new movies and a couple old movies for you on this Halloween season. That is our recommendations for this Halloween. Nice. And also, I went with a vibe. Like, you got to go with an autumn vibe for Halloween movies. You can't just throw in a horror movie. Horror movies are not always Halloween movies. All Halloween movies are horror movies, but not all horror movies are Halloween movies.
True.
Like, what's it called? The Shining is not a Halloween movie. I don't care what anyone says. No one should watch The Shining on Halloween.
I agree with that.
The Shining is a middle of winter movie when it's snowing outside. That's when you put on The Shining.
Yeah, that's right. That's about right.
And if you live in an area without snow, I say you shouldn't be living there. No human was designed to live in habitation of a place that doesn't snow. That's because I'm from Chicago, and my ancestors who lived in a beautiful Mediterranean climate decided to go to the worst fucking climate in the world.
They're geniuses.
Yeah. My Calabrian ancestors who were living in this, like, granted, mafia-infested, beautiful area are like, we're going to go to America. We're going to go to a place where it's cold, impossible to go outside for 4 months out of the year. Mamma mia. Manja, yes. Manja. Yeah. And I would say a runner-up would be In a Violent Nature. And we talked about that last time on the cast. I still don't know if I like that movie or not, but I definitely think it's got some decent autumn vibes to it. One of the things that I think that I figured out what I would have liked in that movie more is if the main plot of just the guy walking around the woods was like if we watched an actual horror movie, but from the killer's perspective. So what that means is that as the killer is going through the forest, other shit was going on that we're only getting glimpses of.
Yeah, I mean they did a lot of that, but they didn't 100% stick to it.
That's the problem. Yeah. Like if there was some characters who were like we just caught glimpses of the conversation where they're like, well, there's some monster going through and killing teens.
Yeah, there's something in the woods.
There's something in the woods, or something where we're getting plots, we're getting glimpses of like a bigger plot. I think that would have been more interesting, which may be where they go if they do a sequel to this. I don't know. What do they know about me? I'm just a gaming podcast guy.
Yeah, who knows?
But anyway, do we have anything else? Any other recommendations for this horror season?
No, that's it, man.
All right. So go to the Game Classy Facebook page. It's the best way to get the link to the Game Classy Discord. If you want to help out the podcast, you can like, comment, subscribe on the iTunes, or you can like, comment, subscribe on the YouTubes. If you want to get more of Steve, you can follow him at Command Throw on Blue Sky. Or if you want to see more of my stuff, you can go at Game Classy Joe on the Instagrams. I think that's about it. So, Steve, until next time.
The Silent Hill 2 remake is quite good.
Snake.
Dun 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 dun.
Later.
Game Classy.